I start off in my book by setting the scene of lockdown and the phrase "stay home, stay safe, save lives," which was so prominent over lockdown. And I'm just showing you my room, the place I stayed in the most over lockdown, and I drew a lot of inspiration from here in my last year project, and I wanted to carry it on through because I feel like home comforts is very on brand for me. I looked at different phrases that were in the news a lot, phrases like unprecedented and quarantine, phrases we hadn't used as often as they've come second nature to us now. I created this discomfort blanket, juxtaposing the comfort of a blanket with the discomfort of lockdown. And here I just documented a shirt I made after attending a Julian Roberts webinar. Over lockdown I had a lot of self-doubt and I struggled a lot with how I looked, and so ugly was the word I used to create this shirt. I really loved making it. I found it really fun and freeing because it was so uncertain and random. And then I looked at making my muse, and I wanted to have a lot of heart to my muse, and so I used pictures of my mum, my sister and my best friend and merged all their features together to create a new face. A face that I felt like was me, a combination of all the people that inspire me most to be the best I can be. And then I started looking at different techniques that I could bring into my work. At this point I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing, but I wanted to experiment with different samples to see where my work could go. A lot of quilting. I knew I'd use quilting because it's so home comforts. So I experimented with different things. I loved the mixture of heavyweight with sheer materials. I wanted to bring this reveal and conceal element to my work with cutouts and things, and create an intimacy. I was really inspired by this trend at this point. And of course I had to bring in upholstery and like curtain materials and soft furnishings to further enhance my concept of home comforts. Looking at different silhouettes, oversized sleeves, something I like to do a lot. And then looking at the rawness of construction and the delicate side of things and the camouflaging of materials upon materials. I attended a embroidery workshop for a few weeks, and this was something I made, and I wanted to evolve it because it was very lockdown mindfulness. I was inspired by the Victor and Rolf Emotions collection. That's why I made that cloud. And then this was where the project started, and I started toiling up this dress, but that didn't go anywhere because I rediscovered my love for the Julian Roberts subtraction cutting and using words. Here I did some more research into emotionally durable design because I was looking at this book for my dissertation and it was so relevant to my work, creating connection using comfort to make fashion and clothing more sustainable. And I wanted to flip this comfort on its head almost and make it discomfort, because the lockdown was uncomfortable for everyone. It wasn't our normal. So I wanted to create this restriction almost in my garments, this like uncomfortableness in that they don't fit right, they don't sit on the body properly, they're not comfortable to wear, they don't fit our bodies, they're made from words, not from the shape of us. And I was really inspired by a pair of trousers Harry Styles was wearing, and this is where the inspiration for the trousers came, and they developed more into patchwork And a lot of my work I had to deconstruct and then reconstruct. And I loved the puzzle in all my garments and doing them, redoing them, and doing them again because they didn't fit right or they didn't work as well. And here's some more development for the dress. I started off with virus, but then I moved on to using the word lockdown because it had bigger shapes and more interesting shapes than virus. It has lots of O's and the D's big, so it worked much better with lockdown. And I liked it being sleeveless, one sleeve sleeveless and then another sleeve. But to create that discomfort element of being cold on the one and not on the other. But I thought the sheerness would look really nice with the curtain netting. And here's some lineup development. My lineup changed a lot. This was much more stylised, and it was definitely my style last year, Christmas time, but it's developed. So that was book number 1. Now going on to book number 2. I started off by looking at duvet and pillow inspiration because I felt like the creases in my dress really drew to my duvet and pillows and the creases within them. So I drew parallels between them. And I really liked the style of illustration. It definitely developed a lot. Here I was working out which panels were the same panel, so I could work out my fabrics. And here's some developments for my shorts. Took a lot of development and some ideas for the quilting. I ended up going with embroidery rather than these applique. And here's where my lineup came from. I started spending a lot more time on my drawings and creating a lot of dimension within them, which I really loved. I really love the style of these. I feel like they're more sophisticated and they go with my theme a bit better. Just some developments on my toiles. And then here's the embroidery samples that I went on to use for my shorts. Here are my fabrics. All my fabrics are upcycled from different charity shops or things we have at home. And here's some inspiration images. Got lots of cottons and some curtains, bedspreads mostly. Here are some tablecloths, curtains again, curtains my mum was making. She had some offcuts for me, net curtains, curtains from my godmother, and then some bedspreads, remnants from charity shops, more bedspreads and curtains. And then here are the fabrics I use for my shorts. And then development for my jumper and the different yarns I use to crochet. And here's some samples for the crochet. I used the patterns from my top to make crochet into the shapes, which took a lot of time, but yeah, I really loved the outcome. Fabrics I used for my top and trousers. Look number 1, look number 2 is the dress and the fabrics I used.